Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. How are you doing today? I'm actually getting ready for bed. Yeah, I'm getting ready for bed. I got PJs on, yeah. But anyways, for the Christmas season, as a kid, they'd play Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman and the McDuck, Mickey Mouse and Scrooge McDuck, the Dickens Christmas Carol, all those things. I don't even know if they play them anymore. We don't watch a lot of TV, so they should. Those are excellent, excellent movies. But anyway, speaking of Scrooge McDuck and Dickens Christmas Carol, do you believe in ghosts? That's my question. I do. I totally believe in spirits and ghosts. And actually, which is super funny, one of my videos, there is actually, it looks like an orb. And I'm talking like there's nothing moving in my room, okay? There's absolutely nothing. But you can see, and I'm not going to tell you which video it is, you can see this orb come up and around me and just drop down. And it looks like a little orb. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So, that's just weird. But I've always believed in ghosts. My kids can, if we sit around and we start talking about ghost stories, they have tons of them. Like when my kids were little, they could, there's been incidents where they've seen things. They don't like certain rooms in the house. I swear, one of our rooms, it's not the room itself, it's the hallway that's haunted. I kid you not. It's only like, it's like the bedroom, the furnace, the bathroom, and another room. It's haunted. Like, seriously. And in our old house, it was bad. So there was a garage, and it was so cold. Like, I couldn't even get myself to go into the one side of it, and my kids couldn't either. And then when we rebuilt over it, I couldn't go to the back. Like, it was just, you get those bad vibes. But we had a really nice ghost in our house. I don't know what's with us, but pretty sure he traveled. We borrowed a loader, a blade, after we moved here, okay, from our old place, from the guy who was there. And I swear the ghost just came with. But it's almost like he finally left. Does that make sense? Like he finally left? But we have weird things happen. My son was little and he was describing this person to me, and I'm like, that's my grandpa. Like, that is my grandpa. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to bed. Like, if you're seeing people late at night while you're up watching TV, yeah, I'm a bad mom. But he wasn't in school yet. It's just weird, how they can pinpoint things. And it's not like I have a bunch of pictures of him around, but every time somebody dies, there's something weird that happens. When his grandpa died, we started having, like, you could hear light switches, but not often, just every once in a while. And then after my dad died, like, you still hear these light switches every once in a while. Like, I'm the only one in the house with the dog, and it'll be like a light switch, and it's loud, just a flick. Like, they're not the little flip ones, they're the, okay? And it's just loud, but the lights never change, but you hear that. Now, my sister-in-law, when her mom died, they have a different tradition for her culture, and it's leaving dimes. If you find dimes, it's that person, and they've found them in weird spots where they shouldn't even be, and they weren't there before. And yeah, so okay, I'm on a tangent here. Yeah, my kids, if they get started on telling ghost stories, oh my gosh, they can talk for hours about all the previous stuff that has happened. And it's like, I'm sorry, you can while away with some of this, and some of the ones you see on TV, ghost hunters or whatever they are, maybe, yeah. I believe that. Some of it might be rigged for TV, but no, I totally believe in them. And I was just thinking about it because, you know, the ghost of Christmas past and then the present and then the future. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird, but very weird. But do you believe in ghosts? Okay, so for the video today, I'll keep this short since we're already into it quite a few minutes. I am doing melt and pour, my melt and pour recipe, because I need some more melt and pour, and it's a great time to do it, and it's just something different, totally different. But I will talk about that more in the video. 3 things: dream big, be true to you, you are worth it. Who's afraid of those ghosts? My coconut, my stearic, my tallow, my castor, and a little canola just for fun. Really don't know why I added that. You just want a lot of hard oils, okay? So, and my oil, you want to keep your oils hot enough because of the stearic. So they're 160. My lye water is around 150. And 0% super fat, 0 to 1, okay? 0 to 1 super fat. My lye water is really discounted. You don't have to discount it. I was just trying something, and it actually made me panic, and you'll see the screw up I did, and we'll see how bad of a screw up it really is in the end. I don't even know right now, but and we've seen this with the shave bars. You know, the minute that lye solution hits that stearic acid, it's like a kaboom saponification. I don't know. It just hits it fast and sucks it all up. And which, you know, it's not the worst thing, because if that's already taken up so much of the lye solution, you know, if you were, I know this is a dumb thought, in looking at it, then if you super fatted it, the super fat would not be saponified because there's nothing to take it up, right? That's kind of how I look at super fat. Once it's at trace, or once it's saponified, like in a hot process that's cooked, and then you add the super fat, it's like that super fat, it stays a super fat, right? Am I wrong? I haven't been soaping that long. I don't know all the, well, I've been soaping long enough, but I don't know all the chemistry to it. Does that make sense? So anyway, I knew I could just keep doing this, and it would eventually come to a nice soft mix. Okay, so that's what I did. I just kept going. I know it's really boring to watch, but I did this for a while. Brought it to really, so it was soft, but I mean, it's hard, but you know, it's worse than mashed potatoes. It's like really bad mashed potatoes. It was really stiff. But yeah, so I let it cook for a little bit. That was my thought process. I'm like, I'm gonna let it cook, because you have to let it cook, right? You gotta let it cook for a little bit. Can't remember. I think I did 15 minutes, just because I wasn't sure. Like, I shouldn't have panicked. I should have just, you know, let it do its thing, because it's doing its thing. But so you want to, yeah, see, it's just, it's not bad at all, actually, once I got to this point. But I decided to cook it for 15 minutes and then go off on a wild tangent. So this is sugar syrup, okay? It's about 50% of my oils. There are lots of recipes, guys, where everything's different with the sugar, the alcohol, and the glycerin. Okay, so this is just the method, okay? My method. So it's 4 ounces of sugar and 2 ounces of water, and watched carefully as it heated in the microwave and totally dissolved. Why I added it now, I don't know, because it's never added at this stage that I have seen. And I kind of panicked because of the water discount and everything else. And I should have took my immersion blender to it here, guys. It's a little chunky. But I just was like, and I sat there and thought about it, like, after I did this, and I went, maybe I should just trash the whole thing. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should just use this as a learning curve, you know? Like, I don't know why I added the sugar syrup, but I did. Oh, my oils are 8 ounces. It's a baby batch. So now I heated up my glycerin to about 200 degrees, and I am adding my Everclear to this. They are both 4 ounces each. It may have been a little hot at first for that alcohol, but it does warm it up a little bit. Got it up to about 100 degrees, so it wasn't such a shock. So sometimes I add them together, sometimes I add them separate. So if I separate them, I will add, do I add the glycerin first or the alcohol? I really don't know if it matters, but I don't dump it in all at once. I add a little bit at a time, because look at that alcohol bubble. Like, look at it. You know, the sides of the thing are so hot, and maybe I should have shut it off. I don't know. No, because you got to cook it yet. So I slowly add this in, okay? This a little bit at a time, you know, maybe about an ounce each time, maybe. You know, but just slowly, so it breaks down that soap. It's pretty funny, like all that sugar, all I could think is it's going to be sticky. It's going to be like making hard candy. The sugar syrup is usually the last thing to go in. So I had to take a little break and go wash my immersion blender off again, and dump the last bit of glycerin and Everclear in here, and just hit it with my immersion blender. Lots of bubbles. Lots of bubbles. And at this point, I was kind of worried, like maybe it wasn't going to clear up like I wanted it to. You know, was it going to be clear? But then it's sugar syrup. I mean, that was a hellacious amount of sugar syrup. People add sugar syrup to soaps just because, you know, for bubbles and stuff. But that was the next huge amount to add at the beginning there. But I was just like, we're going to see. So that is just isopropyl alcohol. It helps to get rid of the bubbles. It was kind of opaque. So I set it for 30 minutes, and here's what I got. Look at that. It's clear. So I'm going to dump it into my mold, which I thought was big enough, and it wasn't. So be glad I have the audio off, because you probably would have heard me scream. But I want you to see this. So see the skim? See that little bit of skin on top? Yeah, that's what I was spraying. And then I just pour it off. Yeah, right off onto my counter. Yeah. I swore I added up. I thought the mold was going to be big enough. Because this was my normal batch is 16 ounces of oils, but I wanted to cut it back just to test a couple things. And yeah, whoops. I don't pour it in there either. I usually pour it in a glass pan. It's going to skin over on top, so I never really put any aluminum foil on it. I mean, saran wrap. But you can spray it right after you pour it. I waited a little bit, but you can spray it with the isopropyl alcohol to get rid of those bubbles on top. Okay, now to test it. It looked really good, right? Because I was already thinking my canola was yellow, my castor was kind of yellow, my olive was kind of yellow, but I was pretty thrilled with this. Like, I messed up my solvents, but hey, you know, this is probably the clearest I've ever had it. And I'm not kidding you. It's usually much more yellow. But I've changed the recipe like 8 times, so whatever. This is just testing it. This is melting it down. I'm going to show you 2 different ways that I do this. So you cannot see pop this batch, okay? Because of the amount of solvent in there. I've seen people, okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm adding some micas, I'm adding some scent, I'm going to make a little ball, and we're going to check out. This is glycerin. There's glycerin added to this. You have to, whatever I had on the scale. And then the next one is alcohol. Okay, here's the glycerin. I've tried this like 8 or 9 different times over the past couple years. The glycerin's always 15 to 200%. The alcohol's 20% to 100%. The sugar syrup, I've seen 25 to 200%. There's no really rhyme or reason. It's almost like you need to do it for yourself. But like I was saying, you cannot see pop this one. Okay, this is a 50-50-50 on everything. And my sugar syrup went in first instead of last. So you actually, if you want to do something where you can see pop it, make the glycerin 15 to 20%, the alcohol no more than 40%, and the sugar syrup around 25%. It's harder to melt down. You've seen me do it where I'm like, I didn't melt it down correctly because I didn't add the extra amount. Okay, you can do it on the double boiler and it will work. It just takes a while. And if you do it in the microwave, do not let it boil over. Those percentages are based on the oils, okay? Oil weight. Like my oil weight was 8. 50% of that is 4 ounces, okay? So my batch started 50% each, but I'm saying if you want to see pop it like I do some of my soaps, you got to do the ratios different. You can't have them that high, you know. But, you know, it's doable. So the top ones were the glycerin balls. And the bottom, or the middle ones, were the alcohol. They're both really hard. It doesn't seem to make a difference. The glycerin's a lot cheaper than the alcohol. And, or you could do just a little bit alcohol and a little bit glycerin. But that's how I get it to melt down nice and smooth and, you know, for other projects. But I'm going to leave them set there for a day, and I'm not going to cover them. This is what glycerin soap, transparent soap, is like. It is bubblelicious. And then you add a little water to it, and it's humongous bubblelicious. It's just awesome soap. It's so fun to use. So a day later, there's not a glycerin drop on these suckers. They are still dry. And there you go, my melt and pour soap. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.